My name is Naomi Crocker, and I am the Executive and Consular Services Coordinator here at the American Swedish Institute.
And my name is Chelsea Bowen, and I'm the Educational Programs Coordinator here at American Swedish Institute.
And we are two of the individuals on a team of ASI staff that were selected this year to give creative direction to the Swedish Christmas room. So installations in the Swedish Christmas room in the past have reflected more so scenes that you might have come across when Turnblads were actually living in the mansion. But this year we wanted to give it an update, wanted it to reflect more Sweden 2017.
Thinking about the assignment of the dining room, which is an amazing, beautiful room on its own. And we didn't want our design to fall flat, so we knew it had to be a little upscale feeling. And when I think of upscale, modern design, high culture, I think of a couple of neighborhoods in Sweden, and one particular in Stockholm, Östermalm.
So the homes in Östermalm feature modern, sleek, luxury design goods blended with the best of traditional Swedish handcraft.
So in both of the rooms, we really just wanted it to feel like you could be in Östermalm, but you could also be anywhere celebrating this holiday tradition.
So what is mysigt?
This is mysigt. When thinking about the Swedish concept mysigt, it is similar to the Danish hygge, which has been kind of trendy lately. It's this idea of cozy, comfortable. I think of warmth, I think of light, I think of a nice toasty beverage.
We really wanted to be able to represent that transition that takes place after dinner, from dinner to spending time with family, relaxing together, sharing the glögg, opening presents, and watching Kalle Anka.
I'm Shelley Northrup Madsen, and I have been a longtime member of the Danish American Center and have worked for a goodly number of years on the Danish room here at Christmas. Handcraft in Danish Christmas traditions is surprisingly still strong in a modern world. They really care about homemade decorations. Cut paper, or papirklip, as it's called there, is a very old tradition. Hans Christian Andersen was one of the great proponents of making clipped paper, and he did it for his friends and sent them out all over the place. Today, it's kind of localized in various areas. In southern Jutland, it's still very strong, and strong in different families. The woven hearts are possibly the most classic of the decorations, that and the stars, which even small children can make, so it can be a real family affair. The Sønderjysk Kaffebord is both a political and a cultural tradition. And it started after the war with Prussia in 1864. And at the same time, coffee became cheap, and cast iron ovens that were good for baking cakes came in as well. And the Germans would not allow the Danes to serve alcohol publicly. So they did it by pouring it in their coffee. They put together gigantic town-wide birthday parties. They put together seminars that people were supposed to be learning about farm implements, but in actuality they were singing nationalistic songs. And the coffee table itself got to be gigantic because every farm wife who had access to eggs and butter and things like that wanted to be the best. And it should have consisted of a minimum of 6, as they called, soft cakes, like buns and layer cakes and torts and things like that, and then 6 hard cakes, which would be cookies. And that would come after the soft cakes, ending up with one little cookie called ingenting, which means nothing. And they say ingenting does not full an overfull stomach.
My name is Anita Salminen-Jan, and I'm the creator of the Finnish room at the American Swedish Institute this year. On Independence Day, 2 candles are set on a windowsill. They used to be white, and nowadays, more often than not, they are white and blue, like the Finnish flag. And on war times, when the tradition, I understand, began, it meant that the friendly soldiers knew that this house has some shelter and food for them if they are in need of it. We are celebrating the people that lived in Finland 100 years ago. The most important thing would be not to think Finland as homogeneous, but that many different groups of people form Finland, more so now than ever before. Outside of this ballroom scene, outside of it will be Finnish gods and goddesses and creatures of the forest in a white snowy landscape, which are very important part of Finland to me. When the pagan religion was still the ruler of the land, everything they believed, everything in the nature had a soul and a spirit. So for example, no house was built before the area was surveyed for the home tree, and oftentimes it was a big evergreen, a fir tree. And if a man who was building his house slept under it for a night, if he saw the right kind of dreams, he knew that that would be the right tree and right place to build his house.
Hi, my name is Raluca Octav. I am one of the 4 creative directors of the Romanian Christmas Exhibit at the American Swedish Institute, and thank you for visiting. A spinning bee, it comes from spinning the fiber into a thread, and we use the name spinning bee, which is also used in the States when women come together and work on a quilt, on just one piece of a quilt. And they call this a spinning bee. I was amazed. So in Romanian we call it clacă, but it's the same thing. And it's a winter type of activity, because you don't have to be in field, you don't have to take care of so many things, of the vegetable garden and such. And then we have several rugs. You're gonna see in the spinning bee room. The rug is so precious. It's not only old, but it's art. It's a beautiful weaving. And it has a funny story attached to it. It belongs to me basically because my mother-in-law brought it from Romania for me. When she came the first time, she asked me what I want her to bring for me. And I said, the rug, if you can part with it. And she said, okay, I'll bring the rug. So she comes the first time, and I look around in her luggage to see the rug, well, because it's big. So no rug, and I didn't ask anything. So when she comes in, she said, well, I brought you something. And she shows me a beautiful gold ring. And the first thing that I said when I saw it, I said, where is the rug? She said that I'm not a very polite person. Well, I wasn't. It's not just folk art. It's due to the beauty of it, the beauty of the weaving and the colors and the age of the rug. It has become an art piece, yes. Caroling, we thought that no Christmas exhibit, Romanian Christmas exhibit, can exist without representing something caroling. Christmas we do only mostly religious songs. I would say that the ones that happen Christmas Eve are usually done by young children, young boys that have with them a lot of things that represent nativity. They have a star the star is always, they hold it. However, the second caroling done Christmas Day is done by usually young men that are not married, bachelors. They usually get also drink while they visit the food and drink. Now they can eat anything because it's not Lent anymore. So they get so much drink along the way from house to house to house. At the end, they can be a little tipsy. Yeah. Very joyful.
My name's Ranveig Arnar Homema, and I'm representing the Icelandic room at the American Swedish Institute this year. So, in keeping with the theme this year of Fest, I started thinking about the things that we do in our family and in Iceland to celebrate Christmas. And when it's dessert time, we have Icelandic rice pudding together. We call it hrísgrjónabúðingur, and it's a traditional Icelandic dessert. We kind of make a game out of this, and we call it möndlugjöf, and actually one of the portions has an almond hidden in it. While we're all having dessert together, the idea of the game is that nobody is to let others know when they discover that they actually have an almond in their mouth. And so while we're eating the dessert, everybody's looking around, and we kind of make a fun game out of it, and there's lots of laughter, and some people pretend that they have it when they actually don't, and then the one that does have it usually tries to be discreet and act like they don't have it. So there was one year that I got it, and I think I was maybe about 8 years old, and I was able to keep it a secret. When everybody's finished, the winner can finally reveal that they have the almond, and they produce the evidence, and the winner of the game gets a small gift. And in my family, the gift is usually a nice box of chocolates that we then share with the rest of the table, and the chocolates get passed around, and we have the chocolate afterwards with nice coffee and perhaps a dessert liqueur or something. The birch liqueur that we're featuring this year is not particularly sweet in flavor. It's kind of medium, middle of the road. It's actually made from the leaves of birch trees, and they take clippings of those in the spring, and they use that as part of the process when they make the liqueur, and they add a little bit of a birch syrup to it, and that's how it's made. But it does have a bit of a sharpness to it, but it's delicious. I think just with the name Fest, one thinks about, what are some of the things that people might enjoy, as an adult, as part of celebrating Christmas. And beer brewing has become very popular in Iceland, and so I decided to feature that a little bit. It's a newer part of Iceland and Icelandic culture that people will see when they go to Iceland.
My name is Robin Cole, and I'm here on behalf of Norway House, and I've curated the Norwegian room for the Christmas exhibit. Today, Norwegians celebrate winter solstice very similarly to how Norse pagans celebrated the winter solstice. They view it as a celebration of light, and a lot of the traditions in today's Christmas celebrations are direct descendants of Yuletide customs. So today, Norwegians will place candles in the windows of their homes. We'll have a bonfire, celebrate lightness in the darkness. As I said before, many of today's Christmas traditions are directly descended from Yuletide customs. A great example of that would be the Christmas wreath. Pagans would string evergreens into a ring shape and weave ribbons into it and hang it either on the wall or the front door of their house. This wreath was a ward against evil spirits or any misfortune. And today we see that wreath really all over the world, but it is a perfect example of how a Yuletide custom has really maintained through the years. Another great example would be the Yule log. So today we see the Yule log burning on TV that broadcasts all day on Christmas. We also eat a Yule log type dessert, but that stems from a European tradition. The intention behind having our guests write wishes for the coming year in runes comes from the Yuletide practice of carving runes into the Yule log. And these runes often symbolized wards of protection against any misfortune, or sometimes hopes and wishes for the coming year. And so we invite our guests to, in a pagan fashion, write their wishes for the coming year in runes.